okay. If you ain't seen a church member in a while, if they pop a top, it's okay. It's okay to drink a beer, Brother Jeff. And, I want to ask you something. And you're there buying, what would you do in those? You know what most of us would do? Well, it's not at church, and it's their business. I'm not going to say nothing. I may hurt their feelings. And that is what's wrong with the world today. Amen? Everybody wants to judge not, lest ye be judged. My Bible says Jesus holds me accountable, and we're to hold each other accountable. Amen? So tonight we're going to see a guy in the Bible. If you know what Genesis 19 is, going to be knowing I'm talking about Lot. And it says in the Bible, Lot was a righteous man. He's a good old boy. He just made some bad choices, and it was sinful choices. His eye offended him. If Jesus was back then, would have walked up to him and said, hey, just pluck that eye out. Quit looking at those places. But we do the same thing, do we not? I've never been to the gamble. I don't gamble, but I've never been to none of them big gambling places. I mean, if you have, that's between you and God. But people say, well, I don't want to gamble. I've got no desire to go see Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm sorry. It's nothing there that interests me. If it did, I would offend God by even going in there looking. Now, I ain't perfect, but I do know what Jesus requires of me. Amen? So tonight we're going to see an old boy. Lot is not only his influence, and I want y'all parents and grandparents, his influence as a parent, a grandparent, or uncle, and all, he blowed it just by who he hung around. And so that's why I'm saying there's a lot of ways we can avoid sin's consequences. When I got called to preach, I had a lot of people pull away from me. I thought it was my friends. You know why? Because they thought I got that attitude that I was better than them. No, it's just I don't want to hang around you because you drink all the time. I'm sorry. I'm an alcoholic. I don't want to be around that. Amen? And it's just like Brother Chris and Stephen the other day, and I'll tell you, you play with a snake long enough as they did, you going to get bit. And that one did bite Chris on the shoe. I'm glad he had his Crocs on. But that's just the way it is. You got to avoid sin's consequences. And you got to treat sin just like I wanted to treat that snake. Blow his head off and move on. Amen? All right. I taught a Sister Susan Sunday school class. There was a Sunday school teacher asked her class one time, small children. She said, what is sin? And a little girl said, sin is not minding God. She hit it, amen. She hit it pretty good, didn't she? Isn't that amazing? Little kids know that, and we don't. Because do we not want to kind of gloss over? We're going to see tonight, even in Lot's day, how things were glossed. Even in Paul's day, how some of the sins, and as I say, when I'm going to be talking about sexual sins and things like that, I want to say something to you. A lot of people, I say God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of homosexuality. No. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of sin. There was a lot more going on there besides homosexuality. Amen? So, let me get over here to my Bible verses. Genesis 19, verse 12. Now, when it says, I want you to see something here because a lot of people don't catch this. You might have read it 1,000 times, but I'm going to show you some stuff you may have missed. Verse 12 said, and the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides sons-in-laws, and your sons and your daughters, and whatsoever you have in the city? Bring them out of this place. For we will, did you hear that? We will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. Have y'all got that? Wait a minute. Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed with fire and brimstone. Well, what did this angel just say? He said, but what did this angel say? And the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, get you out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But I want y'all to circle these last words. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. We'll get to that in a minute. I want y'all to listen. I wish the young people in here now about who you hang around. Amen? Amen. Like, I know enough. Celebrate recovery. If you ever been on drugs, you're going to find you got a friend you're codependent on each other. Drug addicts run together. Amen. They run into it. I don't care if you say no. They somebody you codependent on. Amen. And we're going to see here why, in a minute, Lot's sons-in-law laughed at him. Anyway, when it said the men said unto Lot, that's 3 angels came. Are y'all ready for this? 3 angels, if you read before this, have come and talked to Abraham. 2 of the angels went on to Sodom and Gomorrah to get Lot and his family out. It said 1 angel stayed back with Lot. And I want to tell you, I've always said it, and I'll say it the day I die. That angel that stayed back with Lot was Jesus Christ pre-incarnate. Amen. And you can argue with me all that. But anyway, he remained behind, and he revealed to Abraham that the Lord was determining whether to bring final judgment on the wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. That's back in Genesis 18. Now, these angels appeared as men. Amen? Appeared as... and it says the 2 angels entered Sodom near end's day, so they waited till just about dark before they entered. It said Lot saw them and invited them to spend the night. And if y'all read the rest of it, that's not in our thing tonight, but if you read on later that night, I guess those angels appealed to the men of that city, for y'all know the story. They wanted Lot to send them out where they could basically, everybody's going to rape the men. That's what they wanted to do. They didn't know they was messing with angels, did they? they did when they were struck blind, but that's not in our. I just wanted to let you know those, and the thing of it is, this is what breaks my heart. It's not in our lesson either. But Lot knew these men were angels. He knew they were angels, and came to his house. Can you imagine being that close to something of God's, and being that close to God's angels and everything, and knowing you ain't living right? We'll see more about that. Lot pleaded for the men not to do such a wicked thing, those outside knocking on his door, but angrily, and they were so angry, they told him, said, if you don't let us have them, we're going to do worse to you. Y'all know this, and this has always blown my mind about Lot. So Lot thinks, wait a minute, I ain't going to let them have the angels, and I certainly ain't going to let them have me, but read. Lot says, but you can have my daughters. Boy, what's a daddy there, ain't it? But you can have my daughters. Do to them as you will. Isn't that amazing? All I can say is them daughters better be glad all those men outside was gay. Amen. I bet you they're sitting back saying, Daddy, what? Did you just say what? I'd be running away from home. Amen. But the angel revealed to Lot that all the people in the Sodom and Gomorrah, these was booming cities now, they were doomed. They were saying God's done pronounced judgment on all of this. And he said, and he urged them to take his family to safety. And Lot, they said at this point, Lot knew. He was close enough to God and been around Abraham. He knew that they were angels. He knew they meant what they said. It wasn't no playing around. He knew they were going to bring corruption. I mean, destruction because of the corruption. I want to read something to you in 2 Peter, because there's a lot in the New Testament about old Lot. I'm going to read to you 2 Peter chapter 2.